Hello guys, and welcome back to Just Hoops. In today's video, we're going to start talking about the trade deadline that's coming up soon in early February with Robert Covington of the Portland Trailblazers. Robert Covington is part of a team that's in a weird spot with the Trailblazers, whether they're going to commit to the youth or whether they're going to stick with their core that they have. If they decide to go to a youth route, Robert Covington is someone that will be on the trade market and available for teams to try to pick up. Let's start off talking about his stats. He's averaging 7.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists on a shooting clip of 39% from the field and 35.1% from deep. These numbers don't stand out, but his impact goes well beyond these numbers and he's playing really well of recent. So let's dive into his game a little bit more. Let's start on the defensive end of the floor and talk about some things he does at a really high level. First things first, he's a high-impact help-side defender for the Portland Trailblazers, and he's been throughout his career, whether that means Houston or Portland or Minnesota, Philly. He's been a guy that just makes effort and hustle plays off of the ball. He's great size and length, being a 6'7", 209-pound forward. He does a great job at just understanding where he needs to be defensively, hustles around, is able to make multiple efforts on a consistent and nightly basis for whatever teams he's on. You can see throughout these clips he does a really good job at stunting toward the ball, making plays to get back to his guy, also being a big-time helper. He's a pretty good shot blocker for his position also, and he's really high level of contesting without fouling. Watching them throughout the season, Chauncey Billups has changed up the scheme a lot in Portland now that they're showing a good bit of zone or amoeba that's just giving him the ability to show his versatility at this end of the floor while also showing his ability to recover and make a consistent effort at making big time plays to make it hard for the offense to get a rhythm, get clean looks. And a guy like this is important to have because open shots, corner threes, above the break threes, if you crash and collapse as a defender, you have to be able to get out there and make a hustle play to contest these shots. And Robert Covington does that, whether that means a middle drive, stabbing at the ball, coming out to his guy, they drive his closeout. He's able to peel off with the other help guy and get his guy and contest that. He's just really high level with his ability to move, make plays off of the ball, and be a big time help defender. This off-ball activity as a defender can be big time for any team in any situation that's looking to win games. This ability to fly around and just play hard as a defender off of the ball is kind of hard to find, and it's highly impactful. So now let's talk more about on-ball. He's highly versatile, really good athlete with great size and length that we talked about earlier. He's able to guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5 virtually. He's very switchable. He does a good job at staying low, staying solid, not overreaching, not overdoing things. His ability to just be a solid on-ball defender, you can't knock him for it. He does his job. He sits down, he switches, he flies around, he stays in front of his guy, makes hustle plays to cut him off from the rim. You can see in a lot of these clips, his matchups aren't easy. He'll get Jimmy Butler. He'll get Jason Tatum. He'll get Pascal Siakam. He'll get these high-level scorers on the perimeter, and he gets up into them, makes them work for everything. He doesn't matter if the guy is a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker. He'll do what he has to do to make it tough for them that night. His size, his length, his athletic ability allows him to be a switchable guy, allows him to guard whoever you need him to guard on a night-to-night basis. As an on-ball defender too, he's really active with his hands. As we talked about shot blocking on the help side, he's really good on the ball at picking pockets, taking the ball off of guys, having the ability to really just impact with his size and length, and it's seen throughout all these clips against guards. Along with that, he's able to guard in the post, body up, be strong, be physical, and make plays down low. His versatility as an on-ball defender is one of the bright spots in his game and can definitely continue to grow and help anyone out in the future. So now, let's talk about some negatives of Robert Covington's game defensively. Most of his struggles come at an on-ball standpoint. I know we just talked about how he's solid, he's versatile, he's able to guard inside and out, but he also really struggles on the perimeter. He lacks lateral speed sometimes. He tries to really look ahead and anticipate plays, and he gets picked apart on those. As a defender though, he does a solid job, but sometimes he's so solid that he's not aggressive and he gives the offense opportunities to get downhill, get to their spots. And he fouls pretty often when he gets blown by, trying to recover and make a play. But I think defensively, one of the things that he struggles with is screening. He'll either get caught up not looking at the ball or losing his man, or he'll just get caught in the screen, caught in the action. And that type of stuff gives up a lot of open opportunities and a lot of breakdowns. Another thing that you can see him struggling with, besides getting caught up in screens, getting caught up in action, is that he might reach too much and might anticipate in bad spots. These types of things happen with shooters, with high-level guys that he's trying to deny, but he's not quick enough to stay in front, not quick enough to make that play, and it sometimes hurts. And when he gets blown by at times, the fouling comes in when he's trying to use his length to make a play and knock it out, but it just turns into a foul. So overall, as a defender, I would say he's a plus, but these negatives are things that you can see throughout the league that it's hard to guard a lot of his matchups, and it's hard to stay consistently good as an on-target, on-point defender on a night-by-night basis when you have these tough matchups, when you have to guard high-threat guys. So I can't knock him for this really, but these are just some negatives I saw throughout watching his game. And these on-ball struggles can come up as a negative on why teams might not trade for him. But overall, I would say he's a solid plus defender and he can do his job and really make things tough for the offense. Now it's time to go to the other end of the floor and talk about Robert Covington's game offensively. So as an offensive player, it starts and ends with his shooting ability. The guy is a high-level floor spacer, and this is where his game is really impactful as an offensive player. In Philly, in Houston, now in Portland, and even in Minnesota, he was a guy that was supposed to spread the floor, be in the corners, be in the break, just be a guy that could really shoot the ball at a high level. He's only shooting league average like 35% this year, but of recent, he's been shooting pretty well. His percentages have been going up, he's become more comfortable within the offense, but I also think he's in a rhythm, a personal rhythm, and this rhythm could stay regardless if he stays or gets traded. And even if he gets moved, I think that there's better teams with more downhill attackers, more in-paint guys that could really make things dirty for the defense, make them collapse, and give them better opportunities on the perimeter to get more high-quality looks from deep. His ability to shoot the ball, you can see he has a clean release, it's pretty quick, he gets his feet down, he rises up, high elevation, and really gets the ball with nice spin and arc. He's a high-level shooter. He's been throughout his career, and I think wherever he ends up, this is the main primary thing that you want from him on the offensive end of the floor. Next, we'll talk about his other offensive abilities, but overall, his ability to just shoot the ball at a high level will be what makes him impactful wherever he ends up next. Now let's talk about the next layer to his offensive game. He's a pretty big-time slasher and finisher. He's good in transition at getting downhill, and he's especially good at attacking closeouts. As a finisher, he's a really good right hand, strong hand finisher, whether that means through contact or whether that means off two in transition. He just does a really high-level job at when he gets downhill and has the opportunity to get to the rim to finish those plays. He's not going to go out of his way to break someone down off the bounce, but when he has the opportunity to attack a closeout, to attack in transition, to find an advantage against a smaller guy, he takes them. He's not afraid to get downhill, be physical, use that big size and frame that he has, and he's elite with his length at extending his arm, extending over and through the defense to finish these plays on a consistent basis. Another thing that he does at a really high level offensively is he's a pretty good rebounder. He'll attack the glass hard. He'll be able to finish plays with tips and putbacks, and this part of his game is just as impactful as his ability to attack closeouts. So, in conclusion, Robert Covington can be a big-time trade asset for the Portland Trailblazers if they go a young route. But for other teams in the league, especially teams that are looking to compete in the playoffs and maybe even contend for an NBA championship, Robert Covington is a 3-and-D wing that'll go out there, hustle, and do his job offensively and defensively at a really high level. He's versatile defensively, has really good size and length, could improve in some areas, but overall, he just gives it all and really works night to night Offensively, he's a high-level shooter, and he's able to also attack closeouts and use his size and frame in the paint to finish plays off of rebounds and whether he has the ability to attack a smaller guy or not. He's not the best playmaker offensively, we didn't really dive into that too much, but overall, Robert Covington can be a high-impact guy for a championship-level team this season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something about Robert Covington and who he can help in the future this season, whether that means he stays in Portland or goes somewhere else. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.